All right, welcome to Chicago Baseball Podcast week 11 review, week 12 preview. As always, I'm joined by the executive producer of this show,
Jesus Christ,
the asshole of the league, kids for the win, my son. Happy Father's Day, son.
Happy Father's Day
Kids
to
for the
all the
win.
dads out there.
Dave, happy Father's Day to you. I know there's some little Dave running around some brewery somewhere. Happy Father's Day to Sean, Tommy Mansky. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Happy Father's Day.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm honored and privileged.
Maddie,
You better be.
For the great Father's Day gift. You were very touching, other than the moonshot you just gave everyone.
Well, I was going to do it at the end, but I mean, who knows is still watching. Might as well do it at the beginning.
Absolutely. All right. On to non-fantasy news. Edwin Carcion in the pair got traded to the Yankees, and they're going to get Stanton back this week, and Judge is coming back pretty soon. That's a
hell of a lineup.
Heck of a murderer's row there.
Clint Frazier.
Real fast, who did they demote?
Clint Frazier.
Yes.
God, it happened. As long as it's not void, that's all I care about.
Boy. But that's going to be a pretty crazy 3, 4, 5, and then you got Didi in there. Rotating in. Gardner in there. And then you got obviously this catcher, and then just in Torres. That's Sanchez, the catcher. That's a lot of power there.
Dom, don't forget about their awesome second baseman, DJ LeMahieu. He's like a $4 player.
He is a $4 player.
He's leading off too for that murderer's row. Table setter.
I totally forgot about DJ LeMahieu after I traded him for $4.
You won't. You won't after a while.
But hey, just real fast, like just talking about it and just going back on like the Yankees, just go back to the beginning of the year, and everyone's like, "Oh, the Yankees going to buy this, the Yankees going to buy that. They're going to get Harper, they're going to get whoever
Machado."
Yeah, thank you, Machado. And then it's like, oh, they didn't get anybody. Oh, and then they didn't get a pitcher. Well, why didn't they get Keiko? Why didn't they get Kimbrel? Oh, they're this, and now they're going to get what the only guy who's had more 30 home run seasons than anybody else in Major League Baseball consecutively. They also have one of the, I don't know, I know Betances is coming back, or maybe he has, I don't know. Really, I have no idea, but I know they have a good bullpen. And yes, their starting lineup it's ho-hum, and there's some question marks on it, but they look good. And they didn't spend that much money on any of these guys. And I don't even. Does anybody even know what they traded for, Edwin?
I don't.
Oh, this is the worst podcast ever. That's pretty bad. Someone should have known that.
Yes, obviously you don't.
Oh, clearly I don't. I just asked. Does anybody know what they got for Edwin? Was it a bag of balls and like a thing of Big League Chew? Well, anyway, it's just I'm gonna keep going on what I'm talking about. Someone find that out. Someone do that. But they look like a good team. And Boston, here the Yankees come. I honestly think that Boston's going to do something. I wouldn't be shocked if Boston goes out and gets like a closer, or I don't know. They could use Boston could use a first baseman. Is there another first baseman that's available?
No, it's the trade is Juan Then. Their Yankees prospect pitcher.
Number 15.
Juan Then and cash considerations.
Someone should name their team Cash Considerations next year.
I'm sure Memo's on that already.
That'd be a great team name, or maybe a band name. Can you imagine a band called Cash Considerations?
Players to be named later.
Playing at the Beaver.
I'm stealing this all from a podcast I heard earlier, but that's fine.
That's fine.
All right.
All right, on to your fantasy news, Maddie.
Well, with the rabbit balls, I kind of put on here literally last minute that home runs are crazy. Sean, what was your stat you just dialed up to us earlier?
Like
About
55 home runs on Friday in total.
Yeah, it's insane. And then I saw somewhere that there was more runs hit between Colorado and San Diego than any other series in history.
Yeah.
It was insane. I know that's not home runs; they're runs, but whatever. They had a lot of home runs. Didn't Renfroe had 3 home runs, and then 2 days before that he had 5, or I think he had 5. He didn't have 5. Did he have 5 home runs? Maybe he had 2 home runs. Anyways, so more home runs are being hit, and what do teams do next year with this information? Because the year before there was more home runs hit as well. Are we just going to this, I don't know, inevitable? Baseball wants to get as many young people as possible, and the home run, chicks dig it. So let's fuck with the ball so people can hit more home runs. What do you think? Next year, it's what, June 16th. I know not a lot of people are thinking about next year, but are you taking into consideration, at least you two guys, do you think you might not go for the home run hitters, knowing that home runs are being hit at a record pace?
Well, you're probably adjusting your pitching too, because it wasn't like the huge key to Giolito was just getting away from like a sinker and a slider more so.
We're talking about home runs.
I know, but I'm saying like the way pitchers pitch to those hitters is what I'm trying to say. They obviously have to pitch in order to hit those things, and so it could be also adjusting how the pitching is approached, especially more like sinker ballers. But,
yeah, more ground ballers and things like that. Yeah, I can see that.
Frozen.
But I mean, like,
you may not have to go get, like you said, 3 or 4 bashers now. Now you may be able to get 2 or 3 instead and be okay. I don't know. It's something we might need to see how people adjust next year. But we do have 2 utility spots, so it is an offensive formatted, I feel like, league.
Well, kind of just throwing this out there real quickly. I was talking to Dave about this. Me, Dave, and Niz went out to a brewery on Thursday, and Dave was telling me how my Rhys Hoskins comparison to Mookie Betts was stupid because Rhys Hoskins sucks and Mookie Betts is God, and there's no way anybody would ever want to own Rhys Hoskins. And the only reason you're doing that is because you wanted to trade him.
I don't think that's true. I got
Dave just has weird views on things, but he did have a good point. He told me if you looked at Rhys Hoskins and Soler from Kansas City, they had the same amount of runs, same home runs, and about the same ribbies. And I'm like, no, they didn't, and they do. So with that being said, if you took someone, let's just say a lineup, an outfield lineup, you had 3 outfielders, right? If you took Soler, Hunter Renfroe, and what was the third one? The fucking third one I was gonna pick. I have no idea what the third one was. It was someone readily available. What's the fucking outfielder from Texas? Sin-Soo Choo?
Pence or Chu?
Sin-Soo Choo. All 3 of those guys are available right now on waivers, And if you put all 3 of those guys on your team, I was looking at it, you'd be, I think, better than anybody else that had any other outfield than those. Like, those 3 guys have been better than Harper. They've been better than Judge. They've been better than Stanton. I mean, they've been better than a lot of other players. And they would have cost you exactly $3. And you could have all 3 of them on your team right now. Now, that's not to say that you knew at the beginning of the season that these guys would be good, but you could look at those 3 guys. People were kind of on Renfroe. People were kind of on Soler. I know they were. And they were kind of on everyone's been on Sin-Soo Choo. I mean, he's always been rated as at least a top 100 player. And they're hitting home runs. They're, for the most part, I know Renfroe's not in a home run park, but he plays Colorado, and he's got 21 home runs. I know 5 of them were hit in the last week, but still, fuck. You could have spent $3 on those players. And I've said this maybe 5 other times on this podcast, that if you spent your money on pitching or whatever the fuck you want to spend it on, but you just bought the guys that are just the steady eddies that no one else wants, you could be doing pretty well in this league. So yeah. Home runs are up. That's all I'm saying.
Does that make really good pitching more valuable?
You know what? I don't know. it will in this league. It will for sure. But you can also look at the really good pitching and say, is it that much more valuable?
Oh,
I mean, is it?
Well, look at Memo compared to your pitching, and for the most part, your $11 pitching. I know you're not counting Noah in there, but it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible to have you can have a pitching staff on a real good budget. Like, you just got to get lucky. I do a lot of research and you got to have some luck, but it is, you can win this league if you get some luck and work the waiver wires and go with those steady eddies. You could make a really good team on low money. And hey, Elliot.
Say hi.
Elliot's got a hammer. Hi, Elliot.
Hi.
What do you think of home runs? Do you think home runs are up this year? How many home runs do you think everyone's going to hit this year?
102.
102 home runs?
Yeah.
I have a player on my team that might.
Tell Sean that his team is horrible.
Your team is horrible.
And tell Don he's not that much better anyway.
Polluting the youth. The youth's minds right now.
Sean,
Your team's not that much better anyways.
I love my grandson.
His team sucks.
Your team sucks.
There you go.
Say hi, Grandpa.
I'll be up in a little bit, okay?
Okay, can I stay here for a little?
Sure, if you want.
All right. Ready, buddy?
Let's get into it.
Let's move on to this week. We'll start off this week. A lot of offense, and a lot of bad pitching. I would say is this week's theme. We'll start off with Chris and Ken. Big win for Chris, a much-needed win, taking advantage of Ken Fung winning 7-2. Chris, 42 runs, 46 RBIs, 70 Ks. Ken, 46 runs, 41 RBIs, and 4 quality starts. Ken, typically he's been that little thorn in everyone's side, even though he's playing for next year. He's that guy that's going to be a little thorn in people's side and going to make it close for people.
Yeah.
Home runs was 1. Chris won by 1. RBIs by 5. Stolen bases by 3. It could have been easily another 5-5 tie for Ken.
Have you ever seen whip tied like that? That's interesting.
Yeah, it goes like they start going to decimal points.
Yeah.
After that.
Well, I mean, that was was it really tied? I mean, you can look it back up. Was it?
It's 128 to 128 right now.
Yep.
But someone won it, right?
Yes. Chris won it.
So Chris won it. So it goes to decimal points. Yeah, after that, and Chris did win it. But yeah, that is strange. I'll give you that.
1 save each, though, on both of them.
So I just wanted to say this. Like, Ken has one of the worst teams, and he is one of the worst managers in fantasy baseball history. So I know I made a big trade with him. But what I wanted to do was, give Ken an opportunity to play for next year.
It's very kind of you.
Thank you. You're welcome. I gave him all my good players. So I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks, when Ken plays people, it's not going to be this easy, team that everyone thinks that, will do this to him. So I'm hoping that Ken can I'm playing through Ken is what I'm doing. I gave him all my good players. I got some of his players. He gave him some cash. But Ken's not going to be an easy team going forward. He's got some really good players on his team. Mainly, they're all from my team.
Are you Robin Hood? Are you comparing yourself to Robin Hood? Robbing from the rich and giving to the poor?
Yeah, pretty much. I might change my team name to Robin Hood.
And walk around in tight tights?
You're sold on the Craig Kimbrell stuff, right? He's going to be effective for the Cubs right away?
I really wanted a Cubs player, but yes, yeah, I hope so. We'll get into that later, but yeah. Oh. But I will say, just going back to Chris's team, I mean, we would agree, right? Ken doesn't have that great of a team. I mean, it's good, but it's
he's got pieces that he could still sell away for some value too.
Yeah, but I mean, Chris is supposedly we're saying he's got a good team, right? Yes. And every week we say Chris has got a lot of money. He lost runs by 3. He won home runs by 1. RBIs were close. Stolen bases were close. Maybe we don't talk about stolen bases just because they're so just crazy. saves. They each had one. K's, Chris did win that, but ERA was 5.02 to 5.15. It's close. Again, we talked about whip being close, and quality starts are close. I mean, if you looked at this, if the card swung in Ken's way this week, Chris would have lost. Huge.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then if you want to say, oh, Chris is like, well, if I would have lost, I might have been a seller. What are you going to sell off? Everyone's making huge trades left and right. And I mean, no one's going to stop me from making another trade, but I don't know. Again, Chris, you got some money. You might as well go to Memo and ask for all his pictures or something, but I don't know. And again, I don't even know if Memo would give him up because I think Memo's still in it. So
he's confused on that. He doesn't know what he's doing.
He might be.
As I was talking to him this weekend, he asked me if he was in it or not.
But Chris,
am I in it?
He asked me. I said, I thought you were, but you just lost to me. So,
speaking of you and Memo, good transition.
Yes.
Next matchup.
Yes.
Smooth like butter.
Yes. A big, big upset win for me. 6-3 victory. My offense delivering again.
You know how people like butter on their toast?
I'm the jam, baby. I'm the jam.
Your mom likes to come.
56 runs. Why is this guy
Sorry, Domino.
Must be Talk Over Down show again. 56 runs for me, 14 homers, 45 RBIs, 3 stolen bases this week, and I tied Memo in 5 quality starts. So big win for me this week.
Yeah,
Memo,
it was a great.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't even. I mean, here, let's just. Where are you at? Where are you at, Domino?
And I beat him in K's. This is, as Niz would say, mismanagement. I should not beat a Memo in K's by 2.
All right. So finally, we're gonna get to some real analysis. Sorry, Chris and Ken. We just don't give a shit about your two teams.
Mm-hmm.
But Machado, come alive, buddy! Finally, I've been hearing a lot of people have been doubting what Machado is going to do. They keep saying, "Oh, they quote the I can't play out of Baltimore" type of thing. He wasn't good in LA at the last couple of weeks, or at least he was down from his careers. But I think he's going to play there. I really do. I don't think that San Diego's ballpark is quote unquote hitter's park anymore. People have already said it's not, but he came alive for you. Bregman was just average, 3 for 14, but did have some good counting stats. Albies, fuck you. Fuck. I can't. I gotta stop swearing. My kids here. But Albies, man, really. Yes, buddy. What? Okay, 1 second, Elliot. Abreu still doing good for you. Grandal, he was horrible. You should try to trade him to somebody that wants.
Probably you. Maybe. You.
Yeah. And then I want to say this. This is a player that I completely underrated. He had one bad season because he was out of his comfort level. And there are players that do this, but Carlos Santana back in Cleveland is a solid player. And he's been doing really well. I think they feel comfortable there, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's solid.
So good job, Domino. Again,
Eric Hosmer, 9 RBIs.
Look at that.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to get in that. We just keep telling Sean the team is horrible.
Look at the drone, though. Trevor Bauer.
Complete game shutout today.
I know. Oh, it's good. But you want to talk about Sean trades? Look at Joe Musgrove there for a second. I mean, even though I traded him for a guy that has a blood disease, I
got $4 for DJ
right now.
You give me $4 for DJ LeMahieu.
I know we probably spent a lot of time on this, but just going off of this, Domino, I think you got a good pitching staff. Good. I'm not saying great, but you have Bauer, Fultonevich. I mean, he pitched a lot of Ks for you. Musgrove sucked. Cishek sucked. Lopez was all right. I mean, it's good. It's not like we're in the ballpark of somewhere in the range of like a 5 to 6 range. It's a good pitching staff. It's not great. It's okay. It's middle of the range. But and in a week-to-week league like that we play, you only won one category and you tied in the quality starts, which is fine. But you had more Ks than him. Not by much, but you still won it. Mm-hmm. your ERA and your WHIP was lower than most people's ERA and WHIP. If we look at a little spreadsheet here, you had 3.26 or 3.34, it looks like. But I mean, you would have beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 other teams.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's 1 week. We play week to week. I'm not saying too much, but every week we talk about Memo's team and how he spent what, $190 on his pitching staff. And every week we're looking at it and it's like, it's not really doing much for you. It's not doing much for you. So again, I don't know.
You mentioned it, how, you tried doing it years and years ago and it hasn't worked yet. So not 1 year it will work, but until then, it doesn't look like it's working yet this year.
So how did you console Memo then as far as his team? What did you exactly say to him when he asked if he was still in?
Well, I was trying to get a 4-year contract from him. He told me he needed it.
Why were you trying to get a 4-year contract from him? Why are you trying to get a 4-year contract?
That's either here or there. But the point is, he said he needed it for Eloy. And I'm like, what are you waiting for then? If you need it for Eloy, why wouldn't you not bring him up?
Yeah.
How many home runs did Eloy hit this weekend?
Yeah,
he was like the fastest to get. What was it like?
He was the fastest White Sox player under 23 years old to have whatever many home runs. This is the weirdest fucking weirdest stat I've ever heard. But anyways, he hit a lot of home runs. He hit like 7, 6. I don't know. Did he? Maybe that's too many. I don't know.
He hit almost 500. I think it was
he had 2 over 460 feet this week.
Like what, right in the center porch down? I've never seen a home run. And maybe, I don't remember the Joe Borchard one. I just remember Joe Borchard was bad after a while. But
A-Rod went to the bushes there one time and like Jim Tomey.
Yeah, to the party deck.
That's it, yes. That's what we're talking about. You're talking about Jim Tomey, A-Rod, Power, and maybe Joe Borchard.
Today's the 16th, right, boys?
Yes.
So the beginning of the week started on what? The 10th? So he had 1, 2, 3. He had 3 home runs and 6, 7, 8 RBIs. If he would have played him, well, he would not have done any better in those categories. You know what? He would have beat you in OBP though. Yeah, I mean, hey, real fast. I want to take a sidecar this real fast, but whatever. Memo, I don't know why you don't have Eloy Jimenez. You have an open does he have an open 4-year domino? You said he does?
Yes.
Why? Why don't you bring him up? Now we're gonna go on you, Memo. Instead of going on this, we're not bringing up what's his name. But Memo, why don't you bring up Eloy Jimenez? I'm bringing up Alvarez on fucking Monday, just so everyone knows that. Yes. I would have brought him up and dropped Keyboom, but whatever. That's here nor there. I did something differently. Eloy Jimenez should be brought up. So, whatever.
Anyway, we're going to move on to PJ and Max.
I feel so bad for Max.
Yeah.
Hard luck.
Another big win needed for PJ. Runs and homers could have went either way, but PJ, a solid offensive weekend, 39 runs, 16 homers, 49 RBIs, 371 OBP, 87 Ks. He took advantage of his and 6 quality starts. He took advantage of his 83 innings pitched for sure. So
he did.
He took advantage of his pitching again, having the starters again. But a big win for him needed. And poor Max.
Max gets 6 stolen bases.
And he didn't have a bad offensive week. Runs 37. He lost by 2. They tied homers. He obviously dominated stolen bases. Saves, he lost by 2. And quality starts by 3. Whip by 0.0 by 2. It could have been a lot closer than it was again. But but a big win for PJ.
Can we go over the trades real quickly, or we want to go over PJ's pitching?
We have a Google Doc for the way we do things here, Sean.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure. PJ kind of like bowed out, so I wasn't sure.
We're going to talk about that.
Hey, and don't talk about what happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
Sean, this is your last time on this podcast. I swear to God. First off, you suck. You're in first place, and you suck, and you shouldn't be in first place, and you suck, and you suck.
You suck.
You don't. First,
You're
you
first place
don't know
and you suck.
you do not know the cardinal rules of podcasting. You don't talk about what goes on behind the scenes, and then you suck.
That's
But
only
anyway,
two.
hey, real fast. We're on. Whose team are we on? PJ Max.
Max.
Right? Yes, Sean. PJ's made a couple of trades. Max made a couple of trades. Either there or nowhere. But again, I'm gonna point this out. I don't know if you guys seen this. That there's kind of this week, a lot of teams have had close categories. Runs 39-37. Home runs, they were dead even. And then RBIs wasn't. Stolen bases weren't. OBP wasn't. Saves 3-1. I mean, that's close, right?
Mhm.
87, 40, 54 was not close in Ks.
Whip was
ERA
right
wasn't
there.
close at all. But Whip, look at that, 122, 124. Quality starts 6-3. I mean, he just had more going than for him. I mean, we've said Max has had some bad luck, but I mean, just screw the luck. Let's just say it was what it was. Runs could have swung Max's way. Home runs could have swung Max's way, and saves maybe, and whip. But just those four categories swing his way. It's almost a 5-4 win for PJ.
Yeah.
So I don't know. This game's fickle. The way it goes, it's week to week, and again, people like their teams and people like their players. So that really didn't make sense what I just said. But
teams, people like the players.
what? Shut up, Sean. You're getting kicked off the podcast in 2 seconds.
He's in first place and he thinks
He can just say whatever he wants to.
Apparently. Anyway.
It's only June, right, Sean? It's June.
Oh, I know. We're at the halfway point, basically. I did get congratulated. We'll talk about our matchup. Scott was graceful in the loss, so I did get congratulations.
You shouldn't fucking congratulate anything. That means that's a sign of a weakness. That's a sign of weakness. It's like a pussy. God, Scott, I thought you were better than that. Did he really congratulate you?
That's why? Why not? That's being a gentleman right there.
Congratulate on what?
On what? On luck? Oh, your team was shittier than my team? My team was shittier than yours?
We'll save how much Sean and Scott suck for their matchup in a little bit.
All right, who's next?
So we're done with PJ and Max's matchup here. All right, we're gonna move on to Drew and Niz.
Close.
Well, real fast, but going back to PJ's matchup, I think maybe someone should look into this. How many two-start pitchers who has had the most two-star pitchers every week? Because I feel like PG's up there with it, and I think that's like a huge thing. Like going in even next season, there's no way you can like quantify that and like look forward to that. But I mean, I think we've said that a couple times on this podcast that PG's had. Oh, he's got lucky with his two-star pitchers. I mean, sometimes they just fall on the line, but
yeah, he does have a lot of pitchers, but yeah, those weeks when he doesn't get a lot of double starts, he gets average
categories. Yeah,
you see if you looked at back at his these Ks and quality starts, he definitely fluctuates. I'm sure Scott might correct us, or I'm sure PJ will. But when he has those innings, he definitely cleans up on them, and when he doesn't, he's average. I would say.
Yeah.
So
Drew and Niz?
Drew and Niz, big win for Drew. Wow is all I can say to Drew's offense. And Niz, that's shit luck. That's some bad luck there. Drew, 58 runs, 20 homers, 54 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, and an OBP of 407. That's insane. That is insane. While our top two teams, I'm not even talking about them. But Niz, what bad luck. 41 runs, 14 homers, 48 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases, and you lose all of them. That's rough. That's roughness.
Yeah, I mean, Drew's team showed up. Niz's team showed kind of up, I guess. But, I mean, Drew had a lot of guys that I was looking at it like I think on like Tuesday. I don't know, but I made fun of Blackman couple weeks ago, and
6
Blackman
homers
said,
and 15 RBIs.
Blackman said, "Here's my dick. I'm gonna shove it in your mouth and then stick it out of each one of your ears, and I'm gonna beat you to death with it." He was 21 for 37. He had 12 runs, 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, like you said. I don't know if that's San Diego's pitching staff sucking as bad as it did, or just being in Colorado.
This
And
series was crazy, though.
it was one of the weirdest series. I mean, if you looked at them, like, again, baseball is crazy. You know, you look at it and week to week we play. That's never going to happen again, or maybe it will. But is it going to happen on Drew's team like that? I don't know. But I mean, again, every week someone's doing something, you know, breaking history. So,
Speaking of history, was it Philly and the Nationals last week? They had like 15 homers in the game or something like that.
Phillies and it was 13 home runs. Philly and
Was it the Nationals? Or was it,
maybe it was the Nationals, but it was Philly and somebody. But they had 13 home runs.
yeah, in the game.
I gotta go.
Sorry.
But anyways, getting back to just I sorry, Drew. You do have a good team. I'm not gonna deny that, but I don't think that one player on your team is gonna. I mean, maybe Trout. Trout might do this, maybe. But 12 runs, 6 home runs, and 15 RBIs with a 560. I mean, that doesn't happen. That does not happen every week. Randomly, it does with other players, but you kind of caught lightning in a bottle. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. Because everything else is pretty much, you know, it was good. It wasn't bad. I still don't understand the fucking trade Drew made with Dave. Dave gave him Rendon for like nothing. Both of the players are not even on Dave's team anymore. And there goes Rendon, 7.47 with a 3.46. One of the best fucking third basemen in all of baseball. So good job, fucking Dave, on that one.
And then I know we talked about categories being close. Saves 3-2. Ks 47-43. ERA 5.47 to 5.77. WHIP 149 to 142. Quality starts 3-2.
Well, I'm sorry, even home runs 20-14. You're looking at that, and we keep going to Blackman, and I mean, like Niz, he had like 2 guys that didn't do anything for him. I mean, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he was 7 for 17. I mean, I don't know why. God, Niz has a good team. If his 3 guys would ever get back up, Pollock sucks, but Gallo, Springer, and Stanton, they're gonna come back for him. So, you know, I mean, as much as we like to crap on Niz, he's got those 3 guys come back for him. And Freeman keeps hitting 7, 2, and 10. I mean, Freeman, and then fucking Pence keeps hitting. So we'll see. We will see. Niz still has a very, very good team. I didn't think I wrote in the notes, hey, is Niz selling yet? And he's not. We know that. But
No.
that's tough. It's a tough week to lose, Niz. It's a tough week to lose. Drew, congratulations. One of your guys, I don't know, took steroids.
All right. Yeah, that's a tough week. Great, Drew. Impressive. And then we'll move on to Maddie and Dave. Nice win for Kids for the Win. 6-3, taking advantage of a team that's selling off, but he definitely gave you a run for your money.
His offense is good.
Yes.
Sean
54 runs, 17 RBIs, 40 RBIs other than stolen bases, and OBP of 432. That's a heck of an offense. Obviously, pitching.
432. I know I'm talking over you, Domino, but 432, and we had about the same amount of at bats, I think, if I look at it right, didn't we?
5. He had 5 more bats.
5 more bats, but he was 78 for 227, which doesn't really count the walks and everything. But every other day, I was looking at it and someone was getting a walk. He's got some very patient hitters.
That is, tight, 40 RBIs for both of you, and you with an OBP of 384. Very solid, very solid.
Yeah.
And then 43 runs. That's going to do well most weeks, but pitching was not very well this week, and you definitely, but it was good enough for you to get a win this week.
I pitched everybody. I knew that Dave's team sucked with pitching, and it does.
Well,
So
you benched your pitching today, but
I did today. I did. I only had one guy going, but I just wanted to. I don't know. Wanted to see what it was gonna be like. But the 4 saves and 54 Ks, I was happy with what I got out of it.
got you a win. So
It did. Got me closer to the 2 shitty teams on top.
yes. Anything you want to add, Sean, about about Dave and Matt, or you good?
No, I'm good. I mean, I just Maddie's pitching was really well this week, with the exception of the ERA. But jeez, yeah.
All right, Maddie's in the bathroom. I don't think he even wants to talk about our next matchup. The number 1 team versus the number 2 team.
The class of the league.
Tommy Mansky, the man of fundamentals versus baseball, the Ripken way. I'll give Scott points for creativity on the name. That's about anything good. That was probably the only highlight of this matchup. Offense, we're talking 29 to 27 RBIs here. 6 homers to 11 is pathetic. For you, 7 Ks, very impressive. Only 3 quality starts. ERA over 6. ERA for Scotty over 5. And I mean,
it was just a bad week.
Bad weeks for both of you. Scotty, apparently, when you play Scott, you match his intensity. You play down to his level. I'm sure we'll hear about it, but for 2 of the top teams, everyone's having crazy offensive weeks. You 2 had very below average weeks.
Yeah, it was a bad week.
Other than your 7 saves in Scott's creative name, the rest of it was just shit, I would say.
No, I can't argue with you. Just bad week. I had 2 people go down, and Seager and Hendricks. Just the pitching was just subpar. And normally, like the week before they are, just a lot of price got blown up. I mean, thank God for Bieber.
The Biebs.
I have Bieber fever. So I mean, but he got blown up like the week before, but he had 12 Ks, and that saved my ass. So yeah, I'm hoping for a better week. And Tehran's not bad either, but either way, I'm hoping for a better week next week. But I got a couple of injured players that hopefully Dozier's going to be coming back next week as well. So I'm hoping for a little boost in hitting.
Who?
Hunter
Dozier.
Oh.
You know that all-star first baseman / third baseman?
Don't give me all-star. All-star is the fucking stupidest thing ever.
All-star.
So Scott now has 6 home runs this week, right? I just want to put this out there, that if I would have played Scott, and here are the facts, you jackass. The facts. If I would have played Scott, let's see. I had 43 runs. He had how many?
He had 33.
33. I had 11. That's stupid. I should change that. How many he had, Sean?
33.
Okay. So who wins? I do. I had 12 home runs. How many do you have?
6.
I win. I had 40 RBIs. How many do you have?
29.
I win. I had 6 stolen bases. How many do you have?
It's a push.
Oh, it's a tie. I had a 384 OBP. What do you have?
328.
Oh, I win. So that's 4-0, right? 4-0 right now?
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 saves. How many do you have?
2.
Oh, I win. I had 54 Ks. How many do you have?
50.
I win. I had a 4.17 ERA. What do you have?
5.14.
I win. I had a 120 whip. What do you have?
1.41.
Oh, he wins. I had 3 saves. I had 3 quality starts. What do you have?
2.
Okay, so that means that would be 8, 1, and 0, if I'm correct, right?
That's the luck of the draw, man. I mean,
No. That's not the luck of the draw. That means I would have beat Scott 8, 1 to 0. Those are your facts. Anyways, that's just more fun than anything else. I don't know. I know I gave Scotty a legit 5, top 5 player.
You did.
But Sean, your pitching staff for the last couple of weeks has been just balls to the walls amazing. This week it was balls to the walls like bad. Scott, same thing with him. Last couple of weeks, they've been good, and then not pitching staff wise, but I mean his pitching staff is really blown up. Didn't Snell get pulled in the 4th inning? Did you see this?
Yeah, look at
Noah. He was pissed. He was pissed. I don't know. I still think Sean and Scott got good teams or great teams. They're, if me and Scotty were sitting down and it was a private conversation, I'd probably be saying he's probably one of the better teams in the league just because of who he is. And a lot of other people don't, manage their teams well. But it's a little scary. It's a little scary for Scotty. 2 weeks in a row, I think his offense has been down. Sean, you've gotten more luckier than anything with your pitching staff. And this week just goes to prove it. You got two of the number 1 and number 2 team in the league playing each other, and you would have lost to almost. I mean, I don't know. It would have been a lot worse than if you would have played anybody else. Like Drew and Niz, hats off to those 2 guys. Those guys had a hell of a week. I don't know. I'm throwing my head in there. I had a hell of a week. 40 RBIs, I thought was pretty good.
I would have beat Scott 8-2 if I played.
Are those facts? They are facts?
I had 56 runs. He had 33. I had 14 homers. He had 6. I had 45 RBIs. He had 29. He beat me in stolen bases, 6-3. I beat him in OBP, 388 to 328. He beat me in saves, 2-0. I beat him in Ks, 51 to 50. I beat him in ERA, 334 to 514. I beat him in WHIP, 120 to 141. I had 5 quality starts. He had 2. Those are all facts.
All I care about is the facts.
I know he kicks my ass most weeks, but I kicked his ass. If I would have played him, I would have kicked his ass this week. But his team is very solid. I'm not going to lie. And he lost Thor to the DL. So,
yeah. So, hey, just to recap what happened this week, I was looking at it and just some changes. Like Domino, I mean, you beat Memo. You and Memo are one of those, bubble playoff teams. Chris did beat Ken, so he's moving up. And then PJ, a dominant win over Max. And, I did beat Dave, so I'm kind of staying where I am. And Sean and Scotty, it is what it is. Those are both you guys' top 2 teams. And it'll take a good, either a crazy week for one of you to go down and a crazy week for either me or whoever's else, probably Drew now, to overtake you guys. But or maybe PJ even. So a couple of things changed in there. Those bubble teams look a little bit more clearer, maybe. So, but middle of the season, still got a lot to show.
All right. So that's going to wrap up this week's matchups. We're going to move on to the guest topic of Sean Oskey telling us how the White Sox, not SUX, SOX.
Thank you.
How good they are.
I'm just saying how I'm excited for the White Sox. And man, you may have felt this with the Cubs in 15. I'm starting to feel that with the Sox. So you actually have the Sox have had a farm system now that I don't think, Dom, I can't remember the last time the Sox had a farm system since probably like Frank Thomas.
Not since Kenny Williams been around.
Yeah. And so they have a farm system. So it seems like every player. So Zach Collins is getting called up tomorrow, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm. So Zach Collins is getting called up. Eloy, as we talked about. Tim Anderson's become the face of the team. It's just an exciting time. And, are they probably going to the playoffs? Probably not, but you're starting to see a team starting to make its potential. That doesn't always happen. So this has some fantasy relevance, but it's more so as a White Sox fan. Like they had a sellout today too, which yes, I get, it's the Yankees, whatever. But, either way, that still doesn't happen all the time.
Last year, sorry to interrupt you, but last year they didn't get the 30th win until July something. They're over a month ahead of what they were last year. So that's great. It gives me some hope and promise.
Yeah, and that's the main thing is hope and just the prospects that are coming up here, and especially because they got you don't never know with these draft picks, but dude from Cal is pretty. Sounds like was it Vaughn? This would be a pretty big hitter as well. So it's just one of those things that's exciting about sports. I think they even talk about this on the radio, that when your team is on the cusp of being great, And I think the White Sox are. It sucks that they didn't get Machado, but I think they are going to be on the cusp of being great within the next year or two.
I agree. They got Cease coming up. They got Roberts. They got Collins up tomorrow.
Robert's quick as hell.
Yes. So I'm surprised Maddie's not chiming in on how great the White Sox or how much he likes the White Sox.
They're just exciting. There's a buzz about them a little bit. Again, they probably won't go to the playoffs, but it's just your team getting good, which is better than what they were before, like going into, Dami, remember, with free agency hell. And just getting all these like free agents, like the Adam Dunn stuff, and it just not really going anywhere. So I'm excited.
Amen to that, Sean.
Well,
I'll drink the Coors Light to that.
Yeah, I would be excited too if I was a White Sox fan. The thing was about Collins, like he had like one of the largest signing bonuses in White Sox history, or it was somewhere up there, but it was like $3.8 million. Mm-hmm. And they signed him because he was a two-time. Well, I'm not saying they signed him because of this reason, but I think he played. I have no idea. I maybe Drew knows this, but I'm pretty sure he played college ball and he was like a two-time NCAA champ. So he is and he's a catcher, left-handed catcher. So I'm a little. I don't know. Is there a platoon situation going on there, or is it just they want to call him up for something? I don't know. I'm kind of just thinking about it all. You guys are talking, and I'm listening, and I'm thinking about what I know about Collins, which is not much, but I do know they signed him for a lot, 3-point-something million, and he did play college ball. So they do like it. I mean, if you look at the top draft picks from this year, number one overall was the catcher from. Fudge.
Wasn't
Washington?
Yeah.
And I mean, so he's played college ball for 4 years, or three and a half, almost 4 years. I'm pretty sure. So that was, it's a popular pick, and that guy's got as much power, they says, as some other popular catchers that were out there. I don't know.
He's a switch hitter too.
Yeah, he's a switch hitter too. But going back to Collins, it's interesting. This is some fun times for the White Sox. I mean, you still got Luis Robert, in the minors, and he's raking. I don't know what he's been doing lately. I've not checked, but I know he's still a good prospect. And I mean, I still know he's a good player, and I think he'll be coming up. Eloy Jimenez looks like he's just becoming that beast that he will be. Dylan Cease will be coming up for sure, and they already have some other guys in there. Another guy I was just gonna throw out there, I kind of like a lot is he's kind of I don't know where he is on the list. Maybe he's like top 10, but Blake Rutherford.
From the Yankees, right? Was he?
Yeah. Yep. Not many. All right. So if you look at like your hit tool, right? It's a 80 grade. That's why I got the T-shirt that say 80 grade. There's not a lot of people that have a consistent grade across everything. And the last time I was listening to a podcast, and it was not the A word, it was Roto World. James Anderson, a good guy to follow on Twitter as well. But he does the Wednesday podcast that talks about the prospects. And every once in a while, they talk about this Blake Rutherford guy. I'm looking up now, so this is not off of memory. This is just something I'm looking up now. His 55 hit, 50 power, 50 run, 50 arm, 50 field for an overall 50. Dude is that's high. If you're looking at it, consistent in all those categories. I think that you're right. It was from the Yankees, and it was I mean, look at it. He's one guy that's just looking at this prospect list that he's got, and I mean, I don't know what has he been doing in the minors. This year, not much. Yeah. 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. He's got a 231. Wow, this guy sucks. He's got a 2. Here's his slash line: 231, 273, 370, 327 with an OPS of 600. So I don't know. We're talking about minor leaguers compared to the likes of Andre Ethier and David Justice. He's at least has average tools across the board, and he's fully developed. I don't know. When you look at someone like that who's got a high hit tool and at least a 50 power is not too bad. So, and Domino's Nick Mandrell, second baseman, has a hit tool 65. But again, he goes down to a 40 power, a run 60, arms 50, fielding 60. He's got a good hit tool too. So
yeah, he's not going to hit the power, but he's not. I think he hit his first strikeout this week. So he's definitely going to be a guy that gets on base. He didn't strike out much in college, so he's got promoted to Double-A this week or last week. So
I mean, now we haven't even talked about the pitching because you still have Cease and Kopech, and then it all comes down to the Adam Eaton trade. Like trading Adam Eaton for Dane Dunning, Lopez, and Giolito. It still gives, even at the time, it didn't seem right that they would get all that for Adam Eaton.
Yeah. So Giolito, that was his worst outing the other day, and it was pretty good. I don't know why Ricky brought him in the 7th, but that's Ricky for you. But yeah, a lot of exciting news coming in with the White Sox and the next couple of weeks and years to come. So looking forward to it. So great topic, Sean. I know Maddie actually enjoyed us, so that was good. But we're going to move on to the segment everyone's been waiting for. Let's go. Get in the box. Maddie.
Trades and cookie cutter teams. That's what I'm talking about. We'll veer off here. We'll veer off there. Domino will reel me in. But I don't know. I've made some big trades over the past couple of days. I don't know. Whatever. What I wanted to talk about was, and it doesn't get me I don't know. It does get me heated. Like me and Niz went back and forth for a little bit on, talking about my trade. And he's like, oh, basically the same thing I've heard like from, almost everybody. Oh, you made a good trade for the next couple of years, but it sucked for this year. And I don't view it like that at all. Like I sent Scott this, tweet the other day. What? I'm talking about my Jordan. Jordan. Yeah, it's Jordan. Alvarez and Nolan Arenado trade I'm talking about. And I don't want to particularly talk about that trade, but this is what got the juices going in my head about it. But anyways, I sent Scott the trade, after we made the trade, and he was like, he was stoked about it. I was saying that, so Nolan Arenado, from when I made the trade, so this a couple of days ago, let's just say Friday, he's projected to hit 27 more home runs, 62 more runs, and 71 more RBIs. Last time I checked, that's what we do. We play in counting stats in fantasy baseball. And Alvarez is projected, again, these are for Derek Carty's system, that bat from the Athletic. Drink.
You haven't promoted them this week too much.
I know. I was trying to tone it down a little bit. Alvarez is supposed to hit 13 home runs, 35 runs, and 38 RBIs. So definitely, everyone's going to agree. Nolan Arenado would probably be better than Alvarez for the end of the season. Again, right now, Dave's like, oh, Maddie, you suck. Alvarez sucks. I won once, and I got a belt. My name is Dave. Anyways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dave's apparently a cowboy.
Yeah.
And I sent it to him, and he's like, whatever. And he's going to bring Keyboom up. And I'm like, yeah, definitely. I'm going to bring this guy up. He goes out, and what does he do? He hits. I sent it to everybody. What did he do? Where the fuck is this? What did Alvarez do in this past week, guys? Alvarez, 5 games, 4 home runs, history for the Astros. He's a phenom. I have more phenoms on my team than anybody else does. Fuck it. They could all be the worst players in baseball. I understand that. I completely understand that. But again, you're going back to like another text that I got from PJ. Oh, you just traded a prospect. You just traded a prospect. PJ's now a 95.
Yes,
He's got gray hair, so that's what I was saying then. And it's got me thinking. I'm like, man, I'm hearing the same goddamn shit from everybody. Everyone's tell me the same goddamn thing. That's where I get into this cookie cutter team shit. You look at PJ's team. I swear to God, he's the same player, the same manager every year. Good. That one year that his system works, he wins. And the one year that Dave's system works, he wins. The one year that Niz won, he won. And then I got to be thinking. So I kind of went back and I looked at it, and there's been a couple teams, mainly myself and Scott, just to put. It is what it is. If you look at it, we change up our systems, we change up our teams a little bit. Even and I'm even going to throw Scott on the bus, but tell him that he's got a little bit of a cookie cutter team this year himself. If it wasn't for me giving him players, I've given him Max Muncy. I give him now Norland Arenado. So if he does anything good, it's because of what I've given. I am. What I'm doing is I know how crappy this league is, and I know how good I am. So what I'm doing is I'm getting these players, I'm giving them out to the league.
Oh, you're dispersing.
I am. And then what I'm doing is if I can beat my own self, which I basically will, and if I can beat Ken, if I can beat Scott, I know I can beat my own self, then now I can crown myself the champ. But anyway, I digress.
So you're saying pretty much that we all suck, but you're just trying to make it so we can make the league more competitive for yourself.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. And you're doing that yourself too, Sean, by giving Max some good players, but evidently he's got the worst luck ever. And it's a little, joke, whatever you want to call it. But I was looking at it, and it's true though. Chris doesn't spend money, but every year he's got money. Dave, for the last couple of years, the year that not even the year that he won. The year that he won, he sold out to everybody really, really fast to get what he wanted. Niz, just hems and haws. What do I do? I'll try to trade a player. I won't try to trade a player. I'll give you this. I was telling him for how many weeks to bring Jordan Alvarez. I keep having him on my mind. Vlad. Thank you. And then Memo. Again, we're talking about Memo. He was how many times are you going to hem and haw? Oh, I'm selling. I'm not selling. I'm selling. Send me your best trade. Oh, come on, Memo. Give me a fucking break. Do something. You have a great pitching staff. You know what I would do? I would trade every single one of your pitchers for every hitter you could possibly get. I think you could trade one of your pitchers. Just sale for for Alvarez to Scotty. He would have done it in a heartbeat. And I don't know. And then you go to some of these teams who want to keep these players. I was trying to get Mondesi from Max. He doesn't want to give him up because he's the greatest player ever. I just gave up Nolan Arenado, who's one of the top 4 best players. Why not? I don't know. The game is supposed to be fun, and if you're playing it the way you want to, and it's fun for you, fine. Then this is just Matt just being a jackass telling you to do different things, but. We're in it to wheel and deal. Trading is fucking the most fun part of this whole thing. And I'm going to not gonna lie. The whole time driving home from Bass Lake today, I'm thinking about the trade I made with Ken. And I'm like, I gave up way too much. Way too much. I gave into that mostly because I was drunk. I'm not going to lie. I was smoking a cigar that was way too strong. It's probably my third cigar of the day. And I was just pissed because me and Ken has been going back and forth on trades for 6 weeks, I think. And I just wanted to make a trade happen. And I needed money. I'm not going to lie. I needed money. I think Scott's got money, and I think Scott's team will be good. I don't think Sean's team will be good. Sorry, Sean. And I think when it comes down to it, the playoffs come, it's going to be, me, Scott, and then a couple other people. I'm not gonna lie, that's just how I feel about it. In the last couple of years, when me and Scotty are in it, we're in it. There's gonna be a dark horse team. I think Memo and Dom are 2 of those dark horse teams. I'm not gonna lie. Which I never lie. I don't know why I always say that, but just get back to what I was saying is that cookie cutter team thing. Even you, Sean, you make trades that no one understands. It works out for your team, and it works out, to benefit you sometimes. And I don't understand half the time, and I know a lot of other people don't, but it works for you. But you do that a lot. I was listening to the Roto World podcast, and there's a guy on it. I forgot the guy's name, and I feel bad. But he always talks about zigging when everyone else is zagging, or zagging when everyone else is zigging. And after I listened to that podcast was when I actually proposed that trade to Scott. I was like, fuck it. Like, Nolan Arenado is viewed as like this amazing, amazing player. And Scott has not got anything remotely to the point where he would trade Alvarez. And from all the podcasts I listen to, everyone's going to spend every bit of fab that they have on Alvarez in these, these money leagues and on NFBC. And I'm like, you know what? If he's really worth that much, then I'm going to give Scott what he's worth. And I sent it to him, and he's like, now we're talking. Let's do it. And just that feeling of like, I made Scott happy.
Aww.
And I got something that I wanted for a long-term deal. That's a fair trade in my book. It's going to work out for both of us. And I know I went over the stats. Nolan Arenado is going to be better than Alvarez. But what if he's not? And I'm just going to end this as this is, if you look at Nolan Arenado, and most of the Rockies, when they're not playing at Coors, they don't do that well. When they play at Coors, you know what they do? They get 15 home runs and 19 RBIs and things like that. But again, we play week to week. Alvarez is a patient hitter, and he has proven in 2 different levels of the minors that he is a patient hitter. So do I think that Nolan Arenado is less of a player than Alvarez? No, I don't. I think Nolan Arenado is a better player. I do think that. But in a week to week, I have a shot of doing this just as good as Scott does with those 2 players. You switch them out, and you know what? Oh, well. So hats off to you, Scotty. I hope it's a good trade for either one of us. I know I made another big trade with Ken. I hope, Ken, you crush everyone else when those players become available. So we'll go from there. Last and all, I do have a beer of the week. It is called Two Hearted Ale by Bell's. I just got the trash. Sorry. From Comstock, Michigan. That's funny. I stock might come up for your mom, Dom. I think it's. But anyways, I was the reason I got this beer was it's Two Hearted Ales American IPA is one of my favorite beers. I've always really enjoyed this beer. And also, me and Jill went to this brewery a while back, and I enjoyed the brewery itself. And I think a beer, and I'm not saying I'm a beer connoisseur. Maybe I have been over this time just drinking all these beers and talking about it online or talking on this podcast. But I think that enjoying a beer in a spot that's good and enjoyable and has like a little bit of meaning behind it, the beer's a little bit better. And I remember when me and Joe went on this little trip, we went to different breweries in Michigan. We had a fun time, and the brewery was cool. I remember walking around the brewery. They had all these cool pictures on the wall, and I was drinking this beer, and I was walking around, and I'm like, I even went back to the bar where Joe was. I'm like, this is a cool place. We should come back here. Never come back there. And I would like to go back to Bell's. I thought it was a cool brewery.
Where in Michigan is that one at?
What?
Where in Michigan is Bell's? Because I remember seeing it like a lot in Traverse City.
Did you not hear me? I said it was in Comstock, Michigan.
Oh, Comstock. Okay.
I think it's fun to hear you say Comstock.
Yeah, I know where Comstock's located. So that's
I have no idea. Man, if anybody, it's MI. Hey, it's MI. Not Maine. But anyways, all I was going to get at is I think a beer tastes better if you're at a place that is enjoyable to be at. I was at a brewery with Dave and Niz on Thursday, and it was enjoyable to be there with those 2 guys, and I enjoyed the beer a little bit better just because I was with them. So go out to a local brewery that's got a good spot to be at, enjoy yourself, and enjoy the company you're with.
What brewery you guys go to?
We went to
That's great.
wow.
It's a great brewery. Dave was acting like a cowboy again. I got a bill.
Okay. It was the one in Lamont. What's the one in Lamont? Over by Whirly Ball?
No, that's not Lamont.
Yeah, it is.
Over on the hill.
Fully
It's over
balled out
Roosevelt? Oh my
Rose-
God! Why can't it?
That's noon whistle.
Noon whistle. Thank you, Domino.
Yes. Anyway, so yes, I definitely agree. When you're with good friends and the atmosphere, it does make the beer a little better. So,
I mean, that's how we made you. Me and your mom got together, and atmosphere was good. Well, there's been a lot of mom jokes on this Father's Day.
yes. All right, we're gonna move on to next week's matchups. We're gonna start with mine in the Jabroni, Sean Oski. I'm feeling. I think I'm gonna take 4 out of 5 in the offensive side, and then I'm hoping I can get lucky with ERA and WHIP. If I'm lucky, 6-4 win for me. Probably more closer to a 5-5 tie. I'm guessing. Sean will win stolen bases, saves, quality starts, Ks, and then ERA or WHIP. So I'm probably guessing a 5-5 tie, but if I can get lucky, a 6-4 win for me. I like my offense against Sean's.
I'll go 6 me with a little bit of hope in there.
Well, Sean's got a couple of guys that went on the DL. Dozier should be back. We don't know how good he's going to be. And Jansen's going to be playing in San Fran at night. Domino might have a chance. All I'm saying is that he's just pitched. He's pitched 2 games. You might have a chance for saves because Brad Hand's going to be playing Texas for the next three games. And Texas is going to be really fucking hot. Hansel Robles, same thing with him. He's gotten a save and he's pitched 2 innings literally in the back-to-back games. Today the 16th. Domino, I'm just looking at it. I'm going to go Domino 7-3.
Just like you did with Scott last week. But go ahead.
Okay.
What did you just say? What did you just say?
Just like you did with Scott last week, 7-3 against Sean. But
cross his name off the list for the rest of the year.
He's been banned. No soup, no podcast for you. 1 year. All right, we're gonna move on to the next exciting match: Chris versus Maddie. A close matchup. I think Maddie will take 4 out of the 5 offensive categories. Chris will take stolen bases. Pitching saves. Pitching will be close. You'll take saves. I'm going 6-4 you.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about this. I'm not gonna lie. Benintendi and his Mazzaro. I don't think Mazzaro's coming back. I don't know what was wrong with Benintendi. What is wrong with him? He's been scratched due to a sore left quad. He's got I don't know. I got Yordan Alvarez coming back. He does have a couple more 2 starters. I don't know if he's gonna activate Julius Shashin from the DL. If he does, he's gonna have 4 more starts than I will. It's be close. I like to say it's 6-4. Could be a 5-5 type of deal here. So somewhere in that range.
That's what I had. I had a 5-5 tie or a 6-4 you.
7-3, Chris. No, I'm kidding. So 5-5 I have.
I'm gonna literally set a droid. I can't even fucking talk. I'm gonna go to your house now. A drone. Thank you. To your house with a little note, and inside it's gonna be anthrax when you open it up.
All right. We're gonna move on to Ken versus Memo. This should be all Memo, but with Ken playing for next year, Memo should be, but as Niz says, he's mismanaging his team. Ken likes to tie people. He could have been really close last week, even though the score didn't indicate it. I got Memo close 6-4.
Yeah, I was looking at the same thing too. Memo's guys don't pitch until I think Wednesday. He's got DeGrom going. I know that on Tuesday, but otherwise that I think anybody was going on Wednesday. I'm trying to look at it right now. Yeah, everyone else is going on Wednesday for him. Ken's got the same amount of pitching that. As long as Memo needs to do something with second base. I'm sorry that Nico Goodrum needs to get the fuck out of there. Edwin and Carcion hopefully comes back. Paul DeYoung, if he kind of goes back, I don't know. This could swing Ken's way. But I'm gonna go a 5-5 tie.
6-4 Memo.
All right. We got Max versus Dave. I guess 2 teams playing for next year. I love Dave's team. I got Dave big 7-3.
Okay, the only reason I was looking at this and I was like 7-3, yes, that might be true. I think I'm like 90% sure that Max could win almost all the pitching categories if he plays it kind of smart and plays a couple of his guys. He's got I think it's like 12, at least 12 starting pitchers going, so he could win Ks if he was smart about it. He kind of plays his guys back and forth. He could win ERA and WHIP. So Max could win the 5 categories in pitching. Then if you go to hitting, it is what it is. But I think Max could win the stolen bases.
Always.
Well, not always, but
No,
I think he could win it. And then I was looking at look his studs, like Bellinger. So what's Bellinger hitting? He's playing against San Fran for like 4 games. And then I was looking, all right, what else has he got? Schwarber. What's Schwarber doing? Not that he's a stud, but he is playing the White Sox and Cubs series coming up. So that's a big game. And I feel like, he could step up. He could be one of those people. I don't know. I'm gonna give the Max 7-3. And I think Dave's gonna win home runs and RBIs. And I think some other random fucking category. So 7-3 Max. Every time I say that though, it goes the other way. Sorry, Max.
Manny, I agree exactly with you. I'm thinking it's gonna be 7-3 Max. Dave could fill out a lineup right now, especially with Frazier going down to AAA.
Yeah, it should be a good matchup. Next, Niz and Drew playing for the second week in a row.
10-0 Drew. 10-0 Drew.
I know.
10-0 Drew.
I know.
Niz sucks. He should sell.
I know Drew had a huge week, but again, Niz also had one. I don't think Blackman goes off as crazy. I'm looking at a 5-5 tie this week.
6-4 Drew.
What does Drew's pitching look like? Anybody know? He had 4 home runs today, Drew. God damn it! Though. He's got Soroka going, and he's gonna pull Clevenger up. 7-2 Drew. So I'm going 7-2 Drew. Niz, your team is just fucking god awful. You're just this much below Sean, and just that much below Ken.
Wow, he's saying you're trash, Sean.
Yeah,
and then
30
lastly,
above 500 trash. Okay.
And then lastly, Scotty versus PJ. I want to say this is going to be a close week, but I like PJ's offense. I know Scotty's in Arenado, and he's going to get Upton back this week. PJ has 10 starts compared to Scott's 9. So I'm going to advance to PJ. I got PJ winning big, 7-3, 8-2, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, the one thing about PJ's team, and I was going to say this too, that with this week, just this week in general, he keeps playing Shaw, and Shaw has not been doing, anything. I know he had a home run back. I don't know. He hasn't been playing at all. He's got no second baseman. I know he's waiting for his Altuve to come back. But Scotty's got good hitters. I will say JD Martinez is finally coming back. Jesus Christ, finally that guy's been hitting. And Pham, he's been doing what Pham does. He's got Victor Robles now. If he's going to do anything for him, I don't know. He's only got 2 RBIs in the last couple of days. Harper has been a fucking disappointment in general, but been better lately. Yeah, she's been really better lately. I don't know. What'd you say, Domino?
I was thinking 7-3, 8-2, somewhere in there.
PJ?
Yeah. PJ's got 1 extra start over Scott. 10-9. And Scotty lost Arenado. I know he's going to get not Arenado. He lost Thor in his pitching. I know he's getting Arenado this week for the full week and Upton.
But Arenado's playing the whole week away from course. Arizona and somewhere even worse than Arizona. Arizona's not too bad, but they do have the humidor. Where's he playing? Where's Arenado playing? I don't know. You want to look at Arenado is playing. He's at no game on Monday. And then he goes to Arizona. Oh, the Dodgers. 7-3, PJ.
I'll do 6-4 Scotty.
Why? We just literally went through everything.
I know
how that would factor into it.
I think,
and you're like going against what we say.
Yeah. Worked out last week, so it's six. I think it's 6-4 Scotty. I think
it didn't work out last week. Scotty played you and you beat him.
No, I'm saying though, you said that I was gonna lose 7-3 to Scotty
because I hate your team.
That's how it happened. In other words, it's a crazy thing, but either way, I think Scotty's pitching is still a lot better than even though it's more starts. It's just my opinion.
Your opinion's worth jack shit on this podcast.
You know, you're supposed to agree with the commissioner.
Hey Dom, you know we talked about like enjoying beer and the times and everything like that. Is that the only way you can enjoy old style? Because like I couldn't think of any other ways to enjoy that shit. Okay.
All right. Well,
Sean, to think that I almost would have high-fived you while I was never mind. We'll move on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That would have been a good time. I mean, that would have been a great time. I think you know what I would have done? I've been like, switch.
Yeah.
I need the lefty. I need lefty to come out of the bullpen.
Oh yeah, there definitely would have been high-fiving.
Oh
sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
All right.
Not many people get that. I hope you do.
No, that's fantastic. All right, Sean, any closing remarks to the league, myself, Maddie?
Despite the haterade that was flowing throughout this whole podcast, I appreciate you having me on. I love doing this, and I look forward to the next 5 times I do this too. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on. I'm glad you came again. Maddie, closing remarks.
You said it a couple or last week that Niz should do a football one, right, Domino?
Yes.
And I guess Niz and Dave have been talking about this for a long time. We definitely yeah. I don't know. Sometimes when Niz and Dave get together and they talk, it just seems like they feel like they're better than everybody, and that we're just minions in their world. What are you holding?
I'm holding the football trophy. Nobody's better than this than football.
But anyways, I wanted to say this because I thought it was pretty funny. Niz, well, you get the football trophy, don't you?
Yeah, it's right here. This is
Dave? Wait, Niz, Sean, is Dave's name on that?
I'm looking up right now. I do not see Dave. I see Laura.
Is Niz's name on that?
I see your name, Matt.
I know, but I know you do see my name, but is Niz's name on that?
No, I'm sorry. I just see a lot of NWL right now.
Okay, so anyways, what Niz and Dave said was that they're gonna have the worst player on first, and they said me. But then my rebuttal to them was, have either one of you fuckers won this league? And they're like, well, I'm going to drink my beer because I'm a good beer. I know what beer is. And I was like, oh, that's what I thought. You haven't won this league. Dave's won baseball once. Niz won baseball once. They both got luckier than shit. So my closing arguments are exactly what I wrote down. I'm better than everyone else. Go fuck yourself. Oh, and happy Father's Day.
Well, thank you. Happy Father's Day. As always, thank you guys for coming on. Sean, thanks again for coming on again. Maddie, great job. I know most people won't see the spreadsheet, but the spreadsheet was fantastic. Thanks for the Father's Day gift, Maddie. Looking forward to next week. Oh, you know who's on next week? I think it's Memo.
Is it Memo?
I have to check. Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, I was texting Max. And I was like, "Come on, you gonna be on the podcast?" He's like, "How about this week?" I'm like, "Do you know we have a lineup going on here? Kind of, someone.
Sorry, we have Drew next week, and then Memo. We have
more White Sox love. I love it. More White Sox love.
Yes.
Hey, we'll talk about White Sox. I'll talk about White Sox. Why not?
We will have Drew on next week. So, Drew, this is your reminder. You will be on, and I'll remind you throughout the week. that you are on. Looking forward to that. So until next week, you stay classy, Chicago baseball.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace.